So moving on to our second panel. Our second panel now is about aging and things to do to hopefully prevent it. But of course, everyone's going to be aging. And if you are going to be aging, how you go through with that. So we have three awesome panelists. We'll start by introducing Rachele. And then we have Lisa, and then we have George. So Rachele, we'll start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Dennis, for having me. So my name is Rachele DeCrescenzo. I'm a physical therapist, and I've been a PT for almost 20 years now. I've worked with adolescents to older adults. And currently I have a practice that focuses on a type of holistic healing called myofascial release. But prior to that, the previous 8 years of my career, I worked solely with older adults, mostly much older adults, and trying to just work with them in their home and keep them functional, moving, and independent as possible. So it's the aging population, and keeping them healthy is definitely near and dear to my heart.
Excellent. Lisa, you want to introduce yourself and what it is that you do?
Sure. Thanks, Dennis. My name is Lisa Dvorin, and I'm a lifestyle consultant, and I am passionate about helping others regain their basic health and wellness. And oftentimes that means losing some extra weight. And just 2 minutes about me, I was overweight and had lots of aches and pains in my body. And I would go to my primary care doctor. And one time I said to her, I just see the scale going up and up and up. What's going on? And she said, well, for a woman your age, that's typical. Typical is 3 pounds a year to gain. And that was frightening. I also went to several doctors to get rid of aches and pains and just really became resigned to the fact that I would just have to live with them. And I saw a friend of mine who had lost weight that I grew up with. We rode on the same bus our entire lives. And I reached out and asked her what she was doing. And of course, I had the same misconceptions that, I would not be successful. I'm never successful. It's not convenient. It would be too expensive. It would be too hard. For one time in my life, I was happy to say I was wrong about that. And I got introduced to a plan that changes a couple things about lifestyle changes and how and when we eat. And it made all the difference in the world. So health at every age is important, but as we get older, it becomes more and more important because not only do we want to live a long time, we want to show up and live our best lives, both mentally and physically.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then finally, George, I know you're actually certified in working with elderly. So can you kind of explain who it is or what it is you do?
Sure, thank you. So Caring Transitions is my company. We are a relocation and estate clearing company. The services we provide include decluttering and organizing. We run estate sales, online auctions, do estate clearing, all preparing the home for market, getting it ready for you to sell. What does that have to do with safety? We're going to talk about that in a little while. It's got a lot to do with safety, but as you mentioned, Dennis, what's important and what distinguishes us from what I'll say our competitors. We're not just an estate sale company. We're not just 1-800-GOT-JUNK who's going to come in and clean out. We are trained, certified, and it's ongoing training in all aspects of aging, which allows us to work closely with seniors in terms of what their real needs and wants are, and help to reduce the stress that goes along with any relocation, regardless of whether you're 40 or you're 80. Relieving the stress is really what it is that we do. So it's Caring Transitions, and
all right, excellent. Well, I can attest to George. I mean, I know I'm going through a lot of this with my mom. You've helped me a lot with my mom, and the stress factor is the #1 factor on the transitioning. So with that, we'll come back to Lisa. And Lisa, you want to share a little bit more about the program and the impact that it has? I mean, obviously you don't have to be, but as you age and go through that process.
Absolutely. So I just want to give you 1 or 2 statistics, right? So annually, the US spends 70 billion plus on diets, and diets don't work because it's about depriving. You lose the weight, maybe, and when you stop depriving, you put all that weight back on. So we know diets don't work. And then here's another statistics from a Georgetown study from 2013. So I'm sure this is even higher now. Folks in the US ages 50 to 64, 75% are on prescriptions. And on average, they fill 13 prescriptions annually. When you go to age 65 to 79, it's 87% on some sort of prescriptions, and they fill 20 of those annually. So those are frightening numbers. And like I said, showing up, you want to, in old age, you want to live your best life, right? You don't want to just be there and not feeling well, no energy, overweight, all kinds of chronic diseases. So this plan is about really introducing a couple of lifestyle basics, and they're really simple. And part of this plan is the education that goes with it. And so when I say simple, it's lifestyle basics like drink your water. Well, we all know we should, right? But do we? Get your exercise, eat good fats, lower your carbs, those types of things. And one of the things that I learned in this plan, which really has helped me, and again, this goes to the education, is that when you take either a prescription or a supplement, you really should drink a full glass of water. And yes, I always saw that on any prescription I took in the past, but I thought it was for stomach issues, that you didn't get a nauseous stomach. Well, what I've learned is that drinking the water, that is how these nutrients and these prescriptions get to your cells. So if you're not drinking that glass of water, you're not getting that benefit of whatever it is you're taking. So it's simple things like that. So this plan offers the education, the support, all the support you could ever want, really. It's really up to the individual. And the people that take advantage of this support are the people that have the most success on the plan. And then this plan makes it really convenient and simple and cost effective by offering just a handful of products, and you can pick and choose which one makes sense for you to bring your health to that whole nother level. And so one example is that there's a green powder that you mix into water or whatever it is that you desire. We all know we should be getting 3 to 5 helpings a day, but do we? I don't. I'm your typical American. I do not. I feel good if I'm having a vegetable at dinner. Well, guess what? That's one helping. But those greens are so important because they are carrying away the toxins and getting rid of the free radicals that are in your system that prevent or help to prevent chronic diseases. So that's one of the products. Another thing that they offer is an immunity booster where they've combined 12 different ingredients at the right levels to make sure that you can take one pill instead of having 12 bottles on your counter to get the right immunity boosters that you need to protect you from viruses and things like that. So I have a lot of information on my website, which is stayhealthylivebetter.com. Goes through all of the lifestyle basics and all of the nutrients and products that we need, and my story and my before and afters. So I would invite people to go there to learn more and to reach out to me, because everyone deserves good health. Health is wealth. And I'd be happy to help anybody that's struggling like I was.
And I can attest that, Lisa, you are very passionate about making sure people are healthy and just understand. I mean, the knowledge, the passion that you have about sharing the knowledge is wonderful. And that's it. I mean, it's amazing how much people can just get just from attending and talking to some of the people in your group. It's just great. So with that, we'll go back to Rachele, and you want to get into a little more detail, Rachele, about how it's amazing. I'm very fascinated about what's such a big part of your system, and people hear so little about it. Before I met you, I didn't even know about it. So you want to share a little bit more about that with us?
Yeah, sure. I definitely want to talk about the fascial system, because that's my, the main thing that I work on now with my patients. But there's so much more to that. I just want to highlight some of the things that Lisa actually mentioned, because obviously we age. It's inevitable. We're all getting older, and right, I think it's been said multiple times, the only thing that's certain is death. So we're all heading there eventually, but we want to make it as as good of a life as possible. And those statistics that Lisa mentioned about prescriptions, I mean, that's true, and it doesn't need to be that way. And the other thing that's very troubling that that was said to Lisa by her doctor, and I've heard this so many times over the years, is, well, that's normal for your age, or that's normal because you're aging, and that's just ridiculous. It just does not need to be that way. We have trillions of cells in our body. Those cells then make up tissues, and those tissues make up our organs and our muscles and our bones. And yes, they do age. That's what happens. The cells age as we get older. And if we don't do stuff about it, if we don't eat right, if we don't exercise, we will have things like diabetes and high blood pressure, other chronic issues or non-chronic issues, Parkinson's and dementia. And some of these things are inevitable because they're in our genes, but most of them aren't. And when I worked with my last job with older adults, I think the common theme, no matter how old they were, and even patients with dementia that were a little bit more forgetful or weren't 100% aware of what was going on, they still want to do things on their own. People want to be independent. And the only way or one of the best ways to maintain our independence is to exercise and eat well. The CDC has multiple guidelines if you go to their website about different, how much exercise we should be getting. So older adults 65 and older should be getting 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise on a weekly basis. And if we divide that to 5 days a week, that's 30 minutes of moderate intensity exercise daily. Moderate intensity is a brisk walk, going up and down stairs, playing tennis. There's so many different activities we can do that are considered moderate intensity, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise weekly. Those are what is recommended just to maintain health. Besides that, we should be working, they recommend, and again, I've seen this firsthand, how important this is. We should be working on balance at least 3 times a week. I mean, I don't know many people that really know that, and that it's so important. If you fall as an older adult, it could be detrimental. Hip fractures can be detrimental to older adults. So working on balance is so important. And then they also recommend, and again, I've seen this firsthand, how important it is, muscle strengthening, resistance strengthening 2 times a week, at least. So there's a lot you should be doing or could be doing. Anything is better than nothing. Consulting someone like myself, a physical therapist, is, if you have nowhere to start, don't know where to start, I think is probably the best thing. But, just maintaining exercise is so important as we age. A few simple things I wanted to just highlight to talk about. I said like aerobic exercise, so just walking. You don't need any equipment. So easy. Just get outside and walk. And my mom is 72. I tell her every day, like, just walk for at least 10 minutes if you can't do anything else, no matter what the weather, unless it's, severe weather, get outside and walk. So important. A great strengthening exercise, very simple, and it's really so good. Anyone can do it, is just working on a sit to stand from a chair. If you're very weak as an older adult and you need to use armrests, that's fine. Sit in a firm chair, like a dining room table chair, kitchen chair that has armrests. You can put it up against a wall so it doesn't slide away from you, and just sit and stand. See how many you can do before you feel like your legs are starting to get weak. As you get stronger, you put your arms across your chest and you do that stand to sit. Really great strengthening exercise. And for balance, a very simple exercise is just to work on standing on one leg. Again, not in free space, because we want to be safe, but you can do it while you're brushing your teeth. We're supposed to brush our teeth for 2 minutes. So a lot of times I'll tell people, while you're brushing with one hand, just hold on to the counter with the other and stand on one leg for 1 minute, and then do the same thing, hold the counter, brush your teeth for the second minute, stand on your other leg. So you're working on balance. Sitting and standing is really great for strengthening, and aerobic activities, getting outside and walking. If you can do more, or you need more guidance, you want more guidance, obviously, like I said, consulting someone like myself is really important. And then flexibility, if I could just mention that very briefly, and this kind of ties into what I do now with the fascial system. So we have this 3-dimensional connective tissue web in our body called the fascial system. It runs continuous from head to toe and basically connects everything, our blood vessels, our nerves, our bones, all the way down to the cellular level. Stretching is very important, and you could stretch everything in your body. But what I like to tell people, if you don't have a lot of time or don't know where to start, is just start to move organically. Put your arms up, stretch, twist, move a little bit. Where do you feel tight? Everybody has their own tightnesses, right? So start there, And then once you feel like most people have neck tightness, right? So I'm in my neck, it feels tight on this side. Just hang out for a little bit, like while you're on the phone or on a Zoom, just let your head kind of hang, stretch out that side of your neck, maybe bring your arm back and just stretch into that position, hold it. So everyone can kind of do their own thing. Again, I can give a lot more guidance for specifics if someone were to come into my office, but those are just some simple things to keep you moving and keep you independent as you age.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I will be standing on one foot through most Zooms going forward.
Good.
That's a great idea. If I kind of do this every once in a while, you'll know why.
Very good. Very good.
Next up, we have George. George, sir, you want to explain a little bit more?
And I have to tell you, Rachele, that does feel amazing.
Yeah, it feels so great, right? Just to like pull your arm, touch your neck. Yeah, we don't move in those ways.
So what does relocation and moving have to do with safety in the home? Well, let me explain. The majority of seniors, the majority of adults, in fact, over 95% of adults want to age in place, in the home that they have raised their family in. They've lived in that house for many, many years. It's an environment that they know they're comfortable in. I don't want change. I just want to stay right where I am. Unfortunately, that ultimately is going to lead to some problems as we age, as both Lisa and Rachele stated or alluded to. Our bones get more brittle. Things happen as we age. Our eyesight goes, our hearing, we get weaker, and ultimately that's going to lead to an accident. And once the accident happens, then it becomes a very quick domino effect from the hospital to the rehab, and all kinds of problems come into play. But parents are sometimes stubborn and they want to stay in the home. So as long as they're going to stay in that home, there's a lot of things that you can do and we can help with. We do this through the sorting and organizing practices that we put into place. Basically, what is the percentage? It's like 1 out of 4 Americans over the age of 65 are going to fall and have some sort of an injury that causes them to go to the hospital. So what we're doing when we're helping a client sort and organize is we're looking for ways to help them navigate through that home more easily. That means decluttering, getting rid of piles of magazines and books and clothes and things that just sort of get in the way, helping with the lighting. The bathroom is one of probably the most dangerous room in the house because the floor is hard and slippery. So we will install handrails in the showers. Raised toilet seats are very helpful, and shower chairs are very helpful. These are all little ways that can help to improve the safety in the home. Burns are another one. After falls are burns, so making sure that there are fire extinguishers available and those sorts of things. And it really all leads down, and this is what I heard from Rachele and Lisa. It all really boils down to living a minimalist life for your aging parents. The less I have to worry about tripping over. The less I have to worry about moving and cleaning and getting in the way, the happier I'm going to be, the less stress I'm going to have in my life, and the more that will lend itself to both a healthier life and a safer life. And as a result of the training and all of the training that we go through, this is an area where we can help you preparing for your aging parents.
Excellent. And then George, we'll let you, since you came last, and we'll let you summarize. So what is the one thing that you want people to take away from here in like 2 minutes or less? What is that main thing you want people to take away from?
That's an easy one. Everybody waits until it's too late, until the horses are out of the barn, or whatever the saying goes, before they realize they just have too much stuff. The takeaway I would give you is start to minimize now. Start to clear out now. If you haven't worn something, if you haven't touched something, if you haven't looked at something in over a year, you don't need it. Get rid of it. And I promise you, and as the others on this panel, I know will promise you, is when you simplify your life in that way, life gets so much easier and so much better. And you also, as a senior, you also eliminate the stress that you're going to put on your children should something happen to you and they get stuck, Dennis, as you know, with this house full of stuff that they don't know what to do with. So start the process of downsizing and minimalizing right now.
And I was going to say that, George, I mean, as far as it goes, it's tough raising children. It's harder raising parents. And as you go through that process, you really need to you have to have some tough love with them, and they appreciate it more than the children usually. They will appreciate it. They appreciate what they know they have to do it. They just don't want to do it. And then after they've done it, I can attest, they thank you profusely. So you just need to, raising parents can be tough, but as an adult out there, you want to do it, and they deserve it.
I like that. Raising children's hard. Raising parents is hard.
So excellent. So Rachele, we'll come back to you, and then we'll let Lisa wrap it all up.
Yeah, I think the main thing I want to leave everybody with is it's never too late to start exercising. I've worked with people that are, well into their 90s. I've had a couple of patients over my career that are even 100. And it's really never too late. I mean, I had a misconception, I have to say, that maybe it was too late, because prior to my last job where I did work with older adults, I worked with mostly younger people, adolescents to middle age. And I thought, how much can I help these older adults? And it's amazing. It really is amazing. Your body is an amazing machine. It can adapt in so many ways. And either way. So if you do nothing and just let age take over, it's going to adapt in the wrong way. But if you take action and you start exercising and moving, eating well, it can really adapt in the opposite way. So it's never too late to start moving and exercising. And it is extremely important to living independent life. Like George said, older adults do want to stay in their home. They want to stay in place. And having a healthy body, both from exercise and diet, I mean, there's no better way to do it and make sure that you can stay where you want to stay as you get older.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And Lisa, finally, you want to wrap up?
Yes, I would 100% agree with Rachele that it's never too late to start. And I'll just give you one example. We have someone that's been following our plan that we went to high school with. He lost 145 pounds. It used to be difficult for him to get off the couch, literally. And he just signed up to run a half marathon in October of this year. So, I mean, kudos to him. But, aging gracefully is more about being happy and healthy than keeping wrinkles at bay. And, you want to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You want to surround yourself with people that you love, and you want to do things that you enjoy. And you want to stack the deck in your favor in terms of health. And you can do that with simple lifestyle changes. And I would be happy to share with anyone some of those changes and the effect that it can have on your body. I would encourage anyone that wants to learn silently on their own to go to my website, stayhealthylivebetter.com, because I have a lot of really good, useful information out there.
Excellent. And I'll make sure that when we post this in our blog post, that everyone's links are here, so it's easily accessible, so that everyone can find the guests and the speakers here today. Again, you can always reach out to Coach at Relax Teams if you have any questions. We definitely want to give a shout out. And again, you can check it out on the website. Just focus on wearing your red bandanas through September. We can never forget. I mean, it was, and especially here in Central Jersey, I don't think anyone doesn't know someone who perished and has an impact on their lives. So we want to make sure that we never forget, and that's the purpose of this event. Focusing on helping to remember 9/11, to maintain our security. And just as we age, the thought was it's going to be more on memory and all, and it's really about how people are staying young, staying young longer. So great panel. I appreciate all the insights that everyone's provided. Any questions? Is there any questions for our last group of panelists?
I have a question for George. On average, how long does it take from beginning to end to clean out a home for somebody?
There's two answers to that question. If you're family and you're trying to do it, it's going to take you, believe it or not, if you're lucky, 6 months. I get called in a lot of times when the family's been at it for a year and they've just dented the surface. We get our team in. If we're just doing the clear out, we're talking about it 2 to 3 days. If we're doing an estate sale, that's going to take a couple of weeks, and then we need another week. So it's anywhere from 2 to 3 days to 3 weeks versus 6 months to a year. That's why realtors love us.
And the planning phase, I can attest to, Joe. I mean, if you help people with that planning phase and just organizing, even if they know it might be a ways out or may not for a while, you have a great situation and system where you actually help people lay everything out, right?
Yeah, and we help them with if they are moving to a new downsizing, moving to a new place. We help them with the floor plan, laying out the furniture, making sure that they're not bringing furniture that they're going to end up putting in storage and costing them money, but they're bringing the right furniture that's going to fit in the place.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to describe. I knew you had a great system to actually lay out what they're moving into and show them ahead of time what fits and what doesn't. That's awesome. So excellent. Thank you all for attending. Thank you for great presentations. And we look forward to hearing from you guys in the future. Enjoy, everyone.